The Rogue Prince of Persia is a roguelite, which means that there is always little details that can add up to big differences during each run. So here are 8 tips and tricks that we think might help you out in the long run. Tip number 1, basics. Now this might seem obvious as they explain most of this during the early parts of the game, but focus on breaking the shields and armor of enemies. There are a few ways to do this, and they should always be your priority when you're approaching a new battle. The ground slam breaks armor and doesn't require that much height. Basically, as long as there is a wall behind you and the enemy, you should be able to do this. The other way is by kicking normal enemies into armor or shielded enemies. Instantly figure out how to position yourself in a battle that allows you to kick normal enemies into shielded enemies. Follow some of these fundamentals and this will make your life just a little bit easier. Tip number 2, the best weapon. This could be subjective as all of the weapons are basically created equal with similar DPS. However, if there is a way that some weapons do separate themselves, it's with the added bonuses. The whirling spear, for example, does bonus damage with the tip of the spear, which means that you need to keep enemies strategically at a certain distance. In our opinion, the best weapon based on the added bonus is the falcata and its stacking damage. Each strike with the falcata increases its damage by 10% for 3 seconds and can be stacked up to 30 times. If you do some simple math, this is a 300% damage increase as long as you are constantly engaging enemies. It can even help you in boss fights too. Put a priority on finding this blueprint and save your glimmer for this unlock. Tip number 3, the medallion system. The medallion system is a nice addition to the Rogue Prince of Persia. It's a unique twist on the traditional charm system that adds character perks to each run. The way that they're unique is that each medallion can have its potential increased depending on which slot you put it in. This means you need to take some thought when slotting in your medallions. This even means taking some thought about which slot you place your first medallion in, even if you have 4 empty slots. Tip number 4, the best medallion. As mentioned, the medallion system is one of the highlights of the Rogue Prince of Persia and is similar to the weaponry. They are all pretty balanced. However, there is one that works drastically different than the rest, and that is the revive medallion. The bright side is that it basically gives you an additional life by reviving you at 50% health the first time you die. The downside is that it does occupy one of your medallion slots and doesn't offer any additional bonuses, and this does limit your potential of some of your other medallions based on its placement. As an added bonus, once used, it does disintegrate and opens up that slot again. Prioritize unlocking this medallion. Before finishing the list, we just wanted to take a quick second to talk about our 2024 goals as an outlet, and you can help us reach our main goal, which is getting to 15,000 subscribers. If you're unfamiliar, we are trying to take content creation to a more elevated and positive environment without toxicity. If you enjoy what we're doing, consider subscribing, liking the video, or sharing with a friend that you think might enjoy it. Tip number 5, healing. At the start of the second and every subsequent level, there is a healing well that gives your health bar a boost and refills your health flask. Depending on how low your health is, it might not fill your health bar all the way up, and if you already have a flask, it won't give you an additional one. This might not seem obvious, but the key here is to make sure that you drink your health flask right before using the healing well. This will give you the best chance to leave with 100% health and a full health flask. Tip number 6, Spirit Glimmer. There are 2 currencies in the Rogue Prince of Persia at the moment, money and Spirit Glimmer. When it comes to Spirit Glimmer, these are what you use to unlock permanent upgrades back at the Oasis. Throughout the world, there are wells where you can deposit your Spirit Glimmer. This isn't obvious at first, but this is the only way that you can keep your Spirit Glimmer from run to run. This doesn't work like Dead Cells where you just need to get to the end of the level to bank your cells. You can only use each well once, so consider not using it right away. Consider continuing to explore and get additional glimmer in the near vicinity before banking them because you might not find another well, and a few extra glimmer every run never hurts. Tip number 7, puzzle rooms. Throughout the Rogue Prince of Persia, there will be some glowing doorways. These are usually puzzle rooms. Sometimes they can just have chests in them with a few treasures, but usually they are puzzle rooms. And these puzzles test your mobility skills and your ability to use all of your moveset tools together. But they are risky as the environment can quickly humble you and even ruin a run. However, the reward greatly outweighs the risk, as at the end of each puzzle room you will find a blueprint. As an added bonus, there's usually a good chunk of change at the end along with a health flask that will increase your total health for that run. Tip number 8, best purchases. As mentioned, there are 2 currencies in the Rogue Prince of Persia and they both don't carry over in death, which means that you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it while you have it. There are two items or vendors that appear to be more valuable in our opinion. The first is that sometimes vendors will have a permanent health upgrade per run. The only other way to increase your health bar is to complete puzzle rooms as we just mentioned. The other investment is to save your money until you find the blacksmith. If you have a weapon that you love and it's already mid-level, it might make sense to spend the money to over-level that weapon. Each biome does have a cap on the level of weapons that it will drop, but if you spend the money at the blacksmith, you can easily over-level your weapon, and this could make the difference in getting over the hump that you are stuck at. Let us know in the comments what some of your tips are, and until next time, remember to be nice to your fellow gamer, but more importantly, be nice to your fellow human.